welcome back to For the Love of Paper and Ink. This is Candia, and today I use the coordinating cardstock papers to cut out some die cuts for the front cover. And so we're going to make a really cute cover on the front of the journal with these die cuts, and I decided to cut out some numbers, die cut numbers with this, and put the anniversary year that my parents got married to this year, so it's showing that it's a journal for 50 years of their marriage. So I am just going to use a little finger dauber and daub some glue onto the back of the numbers and put them down. That's the easiest way to get a little bit of glue that I've learned from a fellow crafter. She taught me that finger daubing glue on, wet glue, any kind of glue, that it makes it easier to get these intricate die cuts, glue on just the parts you want without gluing too much elsewhere so that it doesn't get all over the page. So I just used the Fabri-Tac for the littler things, and then these bigger things I decided to use some wet glue on them because the Fabri-Tac in that small amount dries too quickly for being able to get the whole die cut glued and put down. And the flower die cut that I used is a Tim Holtz stems, wildflower stems 2 die cuts for those main flowers that are on the front of the page. And I want to gather them together, make them look like they're gathered together at the bottom of the page with a wax seal. So I warmed up some wax, poured it on my flowers, and then put my seal in there, which is a tree, which I thought is appropriate for a family journal, kind of like a family tree journal. And then we're going to move into the inside and work on the first 2 pages. So I'm going to use some of this coordinating cardstock to make some on this page, first page, to make a pocket, but I don't want to cover up all that beautiful paper in the background, so I'm going to make this a see-through pocket. So for that I just did about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch line on each edge of the paper, and then I cut it out with an X-Acto knife to give me an empty hole that I'm going to add some acetate to. So the cutting out with the X-Acto knife didn't come out perfectly, and this cardstock is white in the center, so you'll notice that a little bit of whiteness shows through on the cardstock. So I decided to ink it up around all the edges with chipped sapphire, and that gave it a little darkness around all the edges and covered up the white. Then I'm going to use this transparency film that I found at the thrift store to create an acetate pocket with the cutout that I just made. So I glue the acetate down, and then I cut the extra acetate off. And because this pocket is going to be going into the corners, and I had cut the corners, I needed to cut out the acetate off the corners too, because I couldn't, it's easier to use the corner rounder than the scissors to get the perfect corner. So I'm just checking here how it's going to fit on the pocket, and then I decide I want to decorate the pocket up a little bit. So I have this yellow leaf stem that I really like, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to incorporate it, and I decide to do it on the bottom right there, but I feel like it's all a little plain. So I get out this stamp from Finnabar, this little background stamp that I use to decorate the leaf. After decorating the leaf, I decide I want to put some of that same stamp around the border of the pocket. So it will give the pocket some texture and add that chipped sapphire color to the whole thing besides just the edges. And then at looking at the leaf, I realized I'd stamped it on the back side, so I decided that I needed to flip it over and restamp on the front side, but I didn't want it to be as dark as it had been. So I just used the off stamping from when I stamped on the pocket. So it just gave a little bit of the blue on the leaf. And I really like that. Then I have these rub-ons because I thought I'd add a little bit of gold to the pocket. This rub-on set that I got at the dollar store would be the perfect addition to just add a little extra oomph to this pocket. So it gives a little color and a little bit of gold, but you can still see through the pocket to the background. I really like how it added that to the pocket, and then I added a little bit to the leaf die cut, and it just added a little extra to this page that I really loved. So I'm going to glue the leaf down now. So that will be this page decorated up for now, and I need to punch holes in the pocket part of it so I can put it back on the binder rings. So I just find the holes on the opposite side of the pocket and punch those back into the page. And I will add like tags and probably decorate it up a little bit more, but I just wanted to get an initial decorating done to these first two pages and the envelope in between the first two pages. So for the envelope, I am going to put this large pocket on it, but I don't want it to be just the cardstocky color, the brown color that it is. So I decide to rub some of the chipped sapphire all over it and make it all blue. And I really love how that chipped sapphire looks on it. So I just rubbed the whole ink pad on there, on the whole thing that's going to be all the parts that are going to be showing. And then I have this little pocket that I want to put on top of it, but I don't want those little holes showing that are for, because this pocket is for going inside a Filofax type holder, an old-fashioned address holder. So I take the envelope out so I can cover it. I want to put a little bit of the colored or the papers that I used, and I have the offcuts of all those papers so that I can use them to decorate up the journal a little bit more. And I want to cover up this envelope so that it looks really cute. So I just picked out two papers that had the same print on them, and I'll trim them up so that they fit on together on this little envelope, and then I'll put the folder pocket on top of that, and then the other little envelope on top of that. So it's like a little triple envelope pocket envelope thingy-mabob. And it just looks so cute with all those layers. I think that's one of the things I love about junk journals is just making layers and adding layers till you are happy with what you have. So I was really happy with the way it turned out and looked with those layers. So I have to punch the holes in that envelope again because I covered up the holes with the paper. I then decide to just push the lip of the pocket inside and glue it down so that it's not sticking out and doesn't get in the way of the journal. Then I decide I want to also add a layer of lace to the pocket. So I pull it up the little envelope and layer the lace on the pocket underneath. And I just love that little addition. It just made it so cute. Then I want to put a pocket on the back side so that I can tuck something in there. Photos, tags, little ephemera. This journal is just made so that lots of places to tuck all kinds of memorabilia in. So I use another piece of the scraps, the offcuts, to create a pocket on the side there. And then I decide I want to rub on a little bit more of that gold that is left on that rub-on page, just to get all the last bits of it off and add a little bit of pizzazz to the manila, or not manila, but the yellow envelope, so it doesn't look so blah, but it gives it something a little extra special and cute looking. So I got that one done, and then I'm going to work on adding another pocket next. I decided I wanted one of these treat bags in the journal, and I'm going to put a strip of the leftovers on each end to reinforce the treat bag so that it can be hold up under the binder rings. And of course I need to put holes in it, so I take the next page out so I can line it up and follow the holes on that page to put holes in the treat bag. So after I get those holes punched, I just put the journal page and the treat bag back in the binder rings. I'm not going to decorate the treat bag up right now, but I'm going to move on to the next page. And for this one, I want to put a pocket on the side as well, but I'm not going to make this a acetate or a see-through pocket. I just am going to do a couple layers of the colored coordinating cardstock, and then some of the printed pretty paper cardstock on top of it to decorate it up. And I'm just trying to figure out which one I like, and I think I go with that one, but yeah, I go with that one. And I liked the blues in it that coordinated with the blues in the background and the blue in the that was in the decorative paper on that page. Then after that, I want to jazz it up a little bit, and I have this pretty lace flower applique that I want to put on there, but it takes me a minute to decide how I want it, and I really like it like up in that top right corner with the leaves facing in. It fits perfectly on that corner. Then I have this mini bag that I want to add to the pocket as well to be a little tuck spot. So I'm just going to decorate it up with some of this scraps from the pattern paper, and I picked this bluish colored one because I thought it looked really pretty, and it's hard to tell, but it does have a pattern on it. It does have flowers in a slightly lighter colored blue, and in person it's really pretty subtlety. So now that I finished that page on the right, I decide I want to decorate up the treat bag a little bit. So I'm taking one of the scraps and a piece of lace and putting it on the back side of the treat bag as like a little picture spot where you could frame a picture on, just so it looks cute on the back of the treat bag. And then on the front of the treat bag, I decide to create a pocket. So it'll be a pocket on top of the pocket of the treat bag. And that's what I'm doing for today. I decide that's a good place to stop. It did take me an hour and a half to do what I did. And I will continue to work on it again some more next week. See you then.